What's up, Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple, and a whole bunch of iPhone rumors for 2020, 2021, and even 2022 are brewing seriously. This is getting out of hand, but the big one getting all the attention, an iPhone model for 2021 will completely get rid of the Lightning connector, and there will be no ports on the new 2021 iPhone. None. Now that's according to a report from Ming-Chi Kuo. It sounds crazy at first, but it also sounds kind of cool. And again, yes, this is a rumor, but Kuo has a pretty solid record of calling these things out early, so we're putting some weight to his claims, but there's also just more to it than just the report. And for me, this would really be the final iPhone with the fingerprints of Jony Ive on it. So let's just really break this down because, ooh, I'm about to dive in. Oh. I always wanted to do that, so I just did. So, okay, whatever. No ports, iPhone. People aren't talking about this, but a report back in 2016 from the Wall Street Journal said Jony Ive had always expressed his desire for the iPhone to appear like a single slab of glass. Now, at the time, the iPhone 7 was just coming out, and when Apple removed the headphone jack, they called it courage. We all remember it well.
Courage. The courage to move on, do something new that betters all of us. And our team has tremendous courage.
So now we all know it takes courage. Well, this is what courage looks like now. And courage will also cost you $159. Now, over time, I stopped bitching about it, and we all just accepted it. The design of the iPhone 7 made that bold move, and it also got us one step closer to a portless iPhone. But bold moves to kill Apple I/O standards are part of its DNA going way, way back into its history. You can see this graph from everymac.com. Everything from getting rid of SCSI connections to the floppy disk on the iMac and the optical disk drives on the MacBook Air, having the courage with the iPhone 7 and removing all the ports from the MacBook Pro in favor of USB-C, Thunderbolt 3 ports. Come on now, let's get ready to dunkle! Now, typically, Apple has killed off an I/O standard after it's been around for about 15 years. The Touch ID button, I loved it. It's always been faster for me. That had a short life because it's gone. Another step closer to a glass slab iPhone. Now, even if they were unpopular at the time, the tech industry has adapted to Apple's bolder moves. Apple has tended to be the trendsetter that really moves the needle to push things forward, and the industry historically has ended up pretty much following its lead with some of those bold moves. Now, look at how critical other companies, including Samsung and Google, were about the headphone jack. Guess what? After a few years, they've completely gotten rid of it too. We even saw the knee-jerk reaction to the notch. For at least a year, almost every Android phone then ended up having a notch until companies decided to be clever or more thoughtful about it. So at first, the idea of no ports on an iPhone is kind of a shock, but then if you look at what Apple has done historically, it's exactly what they do. All right, there's a whole lot more that we're going to dive into, but let's just take a breather to thank Blinkist for sponsoring this video. It can be hard to find time to sit down and learn more, and as a creator, I have less and less time. Plus, with social media in our face, it just can be addictive and time-consuming. So you might think you don't have the time to read a book or develop yourself. There's an app that I recommend. I use it myself, and it's called Blinkist. It takes the best key takeaways, the need-to-know information from thousands of nonfiction books, and condenses them down into 15 minutes for you to read or listen to. I first tried out Blinkist about over 6 months ago before this sponsorship, and I found a couple books that were really helpful for me. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a book that's important since I have to be efficient. And another one, Gary Vee's book, Crushing It, talks about the online platforms to help you be successful. Plus, it's Gary Vee. So go to the link in the description in this video, and the first 100 people will be able to get unlimited access to Blinkist for a week to try it out. You'll also get 25% off if you want the full membership. Plus, the 7-day trial is completely free, and you can cancel at any time during that period. I can honestly say it has real value for almost everyone, especially for those of us who are always on the go. So check it out, the Blinkist app. Go to Blinkist.com/BrianTong to start your free 7-day trial. All right, let's get back to the portless phone. That's what we're all here for. And this is also why I'm reiterating this phone will be the last one Jony Ive intimately worked with. It's his last iPhone that he had his fingerprints all over, and come on, let's add a little sprinkling of SJ2 on there, because typically companies start building their solid roadmap for a single product, I'd say about 2 to 3 years ahead of time. That's where the product features are defined, while then leaving some room to adapt to the changing market and maybe new features that they can slide in as well. But if, that's a big if this no-port iPhone comes out in 2021, that would signal around 2018 when it was really being planned out with more specifics. Now, according to a Wall Street Journal report, 2017 was the start of when Jony Ive started to distance himself more from Apple, and then we know he officially left the company in 2019. He might have been distancing himself, but he was around during that whole planning process, and we know that he talked about the iPhone being a glass slab long before then, and he made it publicly known. And you have to believe it was the goal for him, the design team, and even Steve Jobs, his kindred spirit at Apple, to eventually get a single piece of glass iPhone with no unsightly holes anywhere on it. You can't have that really once the tech was available, and we are truly getting there. Now, it might be more appropriate to nickname the 2021 iPhone the Ive Phone. Yeah, I know you like that one. Come on, this is where I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I'm just having fun here. I'm not cocky about it, but whenever that single glass slab iPhone comes out, I'm telling you, I'm gonna call it the Ive Phone. Unless a story later comes out that he had nothing to do with it whatsoever, then I'll take this whole video back. But I know some of you are still rolling your eyes. That's if you're still watching, because we all know that wireless charging still takes a damn long time. It's not anywhere close to being as fast as plugging it in. I think Apple's preparing for this in a couple of ways. We saw with the iPhone 11 Pro, they made it thicker and heavier than the previous model. I can't remember the last time that happened to really any new flagship iPhone, but what was the result? A battery life that easily gets me through a workday before I come home to charge it. And if battery life is this good, what about future iPhones getting even better by 2021? I know it's a big ask, but as long as you easily get through that one true full day, it might not be that bad, because when you get home, you can throw it on a wireless charger. Even if it's a slower charge, it's something people will get used to, and wireless charging speeds will get faster over time. The biggest issue to me is really using these battery charging packs when you're on the go that normally plug directly into the phone. You know, you throw them in a bag, you give your phone an extra boost when you're at like a theme park or on vacation where power's harder to find. Well, with this portless phone, you would need to get an all-new portable battery pack with Qi wireless charging. They do exist today, but you can't just like throw it in your bag randomly like we do now. It would need to be secure and kind of connected and close by to keep that portable wireless charger charging. But guess what? People will adapt for Apple. It's just a fact. Now, we have rumors of an in-screen fingerprint reader. They've been thrown around for the 2020 iPhone, but Apple doesn't need to rush it. And it's honestly looking more and more to be a feature that we'll see in the 2021 iPhone, the year of the Ive Phone. Now, the one thing we know about Apple, its users will change their behavior pattern to accommodate whatever direction Apple wants to push them. The headphone jack truly proved this out, and it shows the power of the ecosystem we talk about all the time. Apple knows this. They can basically do whatever they want until they have an epic misstep. And you know what? This iPhone won't be it. Now, another sign this could be happening is if the high-end iPhone in 2020 does not have USB-C and still comes with Lightning. We've seen and heard about the expected design to be the all-new iPhone, inspired from kind of the metal frame look of the iPhone 4 and 5, one that I just love. It was my favorite design, with 5G, even thinner OLED displays, and a 3D sensing rear camera for augmented reality, and then other photo and video enhancements. Apple might not want to make the move to USB-C for another year, because instead of investing that time and resources to just do it for a one-year model, what if they just wait to make the jump directly to a single glass slate iPhone as the high end in 2021? I think it could be a release similar to the iPhone 10, which at the time, it felt a lot different compared to the standard iPhone 8, right? It had different style, design, but that phone was like a push into a new direction for the iPhone. It was their concept car design, a sign of where they wanted to go. And again, it brought us one step closer to the portless iPhone. So let's take everything we talked about, right? Combine all these factors, Apple's historically bold decisions to get rid of ports and standard I/O, Jony Ive making it known the goal of the iPhone was to be a single slab of glass, and then the roughly 3-year timetable to solidify the actual product plan while he was still there, right? Apple making design choices to increase battery life to last longer through the day, not only practical for us, but it could push us to being more comfortable to wirelessly charging if our phone does last through the majority of the day. Then leaning on the power of the ecosystem and its loyal users to change their behavior for Apple. You can never underestimate that. That allows these movements to happen. They'll also always have like this more standard iPhone alongside it, like they did with the 10. So there will be another option, just like the iPhone 11 is the more popular option to the 11 Pro. So look, all the breadcrumbs here, they're in plain sight right in front of us for us to possibly get the Ive phone in 2021. Honestly, I can even hear them in my head say on stage, this is the iPhone we always wanted to make. So enough of me talking. I've done enough talking. What do you think about a no-port wireless charging iPhone? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Am I just making up stuff? Because as I was doing this video, I'm even convincing myself that it's absolutely happening. Look, you can be totally practical or totally irrational here. Just put in the comments because, you know, I like to read them when I'm manscaping. So, all right, if you like this video, thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my videos when they drop. You can also check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast where we just go for a deep dive into all the latest stories each week, and I do get special guests time to time. Plus, you can support all my independent content like the podcast and everything I do at patreon.com/BrianTong. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody, and be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.